and that's actually one of the better maps for the X-Polar Ace roster, I would have to say. I know Valens really enjoys playing on that map, so looks like we're actually finally getting into the knife round here. Again, if you're just joining me, my name is Ito, and this is for Mountain Dew League Season 13. Depth versus Rugratz here, and I actually feel like this is going to be a pretty banger, or a pretty big banger of a match, I should say. P Daddy's saying, wait till Eptima gets unbanned. Depth will be a bigger beast. I don't know, man. Havoc has been relatively impressive for me. I'm kind of actually liking how he's slotting in, but yeah, I can't really disagree. If Eptima is going to be a direct upgrade, then I can definitely see Depth definitely knocking on the front door of a lot of these scarier top-level MDL teams. You know, your Team 1s, your New England Whalers seem to be on a completely different level. And in fact, those two teams that I mentioned are facing off in IEM New York at the moment, so they actually had to postpone their MDL match, which is going to be the exact same matchup too. Shows that even on the big stage, you'll see still a lot of these matchups. As we head into the first pistol here, pretty interesting setup right off the bat from Depth here. They have absolutely zero mid presence whatsoever. Actually, you know what? That's not fair to say. They have committed a couple of players as they go ahead and watch for any mid pushes, but they've also done the same over towards water. RZU caught off guard by a watching kill. Great first kill to go ahead and crack open the bomb site. And Depth pushing in upon it. I'll actually try to go for a little bit more here. They're looking for a bit more map control into the CT spawn. And although Rugratz have been able to stem the wound a little bit from Depth pushing onto the site by a couple of kills, Dare will do them one better, finding 3 kills over by Sandbags. And now Cobra will have to go ahead and pull off something massive, but it's not even going to become part of reality. And the quick first round for Depth will look very, very good. Let's go ahead and maybe keep up this form for another 2 or 3. At least they have this first one in the bag. Or this first anti-eco, I should say. I'm surprised that Rugratz actually chose to buy up here. I mean, it's not an uncommon choice by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like Overpass isn't one of those maps that really suits kind of these force-ups. In a lot of fashions, you know, usually you rely on a lot of B-stacks. What else do we usually see? Lots of aggro mid control, which I think Depth was actually watching for. I don't know. I just think the way that Depth actually play this, he should be okay. P Daddy, I agree with you. By the way, Havoc has been a good fit for Depth. I honestly, I hope to see him more on a couple of other rosters. He was one of the biggest parts of how they won Train versus, I need to jog my memory here for a second. Kinship a couple of days back. Really solid part for them. And I agree with you, Frey, as well. I mean, Depth, they were always that team that was kind of struggling to get through MDL regulation. They've always been kind of on that level. I know that they have the skill, and they've definitely stuck together longer than most NA teams, it feels like. But I'm finally glad to see that once they have gotten their chance to compete against some of these higher level NA teams, they're definitely not disappointing. And RZU with a Desert Eagle isn't disappointing either. How does he get one through the smoke onto Havoc? I was just praising the man, but apparently he's gone down just as quickly. What in the hell was that from Rugratz? I wish I could go ahead and see that first kill again from RZU. I didn't think he'd get 2. The first one, I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. That's just kind of a par for the course when you're watching a smoke, and you probably can cheese out 1 kill, but the second one onto Havoc was something else entirely. Through the wall, through the smoke. Ugh, unreal. Okay, well, I was also just saying how I'm not exactly a big proponent of force-ups when it comes to Overpass unless there's like certain setups that are adopted, but Rugratz will completely show me why I am not a magician and why I'm not an MDL coach. Step up massively with a couple of Desert Eagles here. However, not to be one-upped, Depth will try to do the same thing with a couple of Desert Eagles in their own hands as well, and Snav winning that 50-50 is a huge, huge opportunity for the T side to maybe pick up another round here. I mean, Shane, he does the same thing with a Desert Eagle. Maybe they should just completely neglect rifles and only keep these little pistols, because he seemed to be doing work with them here. Good kill from Hunter, however. We'll go ahead and even up the score. As we enter a 2v2 here, Hunter is Not exactly looking good here. He's on 2 points of health. And RZU dropping makes his presence known. Do they look for it? Yes. It should be basically an unwinnable situation for the side of Rugratz at the moment. Kel is playing a very sneaky off angle as well. Should be able to take down the lone member of Rugratz, and it won't be a struggle when they do. So back-to-back eco victories. One for Depth, one for Rugratz. It is a winning combo. And definitely something to be happy about. Again, this is why I feel like maybe maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I need to change my opinion on how I actually view eco rounds on Overpass. Maybe I just haven't seen enough amazing victories up until now, but it's definitely there. And Rugratz, maybe they believe in that vision too. They'll force up everything they possibly can. Fang getting the M4A4 into his hand will be trying to push, looking for a pick over towards Park, and he'll find it. That's onto Depth, and there's absolutely zero response from the rest of the team. Shane, he's probably the closest to actually being able to do something, but he's far gone and unable to do anything. Burning out a little bit of utility, however, will be Rugratz. So I still think this is a winnable 5v3, especially now that they know the position of Hunter. With that Galil in his hand, they need to make sure to isolate their picks here. And Dare, he is an absolutely wonderful player at doing just that. We saw that pistol. I'd be surprised if he could do it again. Oh, the timing couldn't be worse. Hunter is able to catch off Dare, excuse me. And Shane will now try to respond with a couple of kills of his own. However, this is very, very much a solo mission. Kel is trying to flank in over towards the long bathrooms as well. He gets taken out while trying to do exactly that. There are no rules to the game. Now Rugratz will respond with a force-up round. Again, just completely say screw it to the rifles. I don't think anybody needs AKs anymore when they're doing these absolutely nasty plays just with Scouts, MP9s, and that single M4 that Fang had. Not exactly sure. Depth, it kind of felt like they were stopped almost immediately. Wasn't exactly, something that's going to be a problem for the entire game, but kind of felt like they never actually made it out of mid. They lost 2 players pretty much as soon as the round started. How did Hunter get that tag? GoTV betrayed me, but that, grenade will at least finish the job. That was a bit of a nasty one. And finally, it looks like Rugratz are ready to break the trend of force-up rounds working out. Although Havoc will be able to respond, Dare does the same with a MAC-10. Feels like, all things considered, that should have been a kill for Hunter. HP isn't wonderful, however, on the Depth side, as you can see on the left or right side of your screen. And so there's still a lot for them to actually try to overcome. But Rugratz aren't exactly pushing for a ton of information, and Depth, for the most part, are just kind of sitting on what they have earned. Going back into their spawn, however. And so they eventually will try to make this into a B split here. I really like it. This is a good mid-round response. Dare having that smoke and flash in his hands can probably make it so they can smoke out. Probably just mid-sight. Try to get that angle covered from heaven if they still possibly can. Rugratz are conceding a little bit of control there. It's still incredibly scared about the potential. Just kind of burst into a sight that Depth can possibly provide. RZU, does he get flashed here though? I think that's a real question. Kel is probably going to be caught off guard. Indeed, that is the case. Flash is in, and now they're going to try to search for a couple of kills if they're even going to be given the opportunity. 20 seconds left on the clock. They need to get that bomb down sooner rather than later, but I'm not sure if that can exactly be helped. RZU is picking away all the way over by CT spawn. Again, that C4 will eventually go down here, but for how long is that going to last? Fang, he's just waiting out the smoke over towards sandbags, and I think right on cue, it will dissipate, and now the absolute terror that Depth wanted to avoid comes to fruition. Havoc, he's holding and playing as first contact in, waiting for Dare to go ahead and try to rotate all the way around, but Havoc will win the first fight, and it's RZU against 2. Dare won't even give him the time of day to try to clutch this one out here, and Depth somehow managed to win that one out. What a miracle of a round that was from Depth. That is not something he can almost ever bank on. But somehow they managed to clutch it out. I am baffled by the fact that Havoc actually managed to win out that fight. That was such a difficult opportunity that he managed to clutch out. I mean, I want to see that from the other person's POV too. because, again, all things considered, that should have been an angle that I think they're actually ready for, Rugratz, but I don't know. Somehow just losing that 50-50. It's a nice little knife that Fang has, by the way. I'm looking at it. 0.143, or 0.0143, rather. Low value. It's a beautiful little knife. Mid-rush in from Rugratz here as they're well equipped with a couple of pistols, nothing more, and definitely nothing less. Auto, meanwhile, will just try to hold down the site here, but it's a absolutely fruitless effort. You won't even find a single tag onto one of the members of Depth here. As the collapse quickly comes in from Rugratz, they're going to be soon pushed upon and removed from the round, although Dare won't exactly make it a clean deal. What has happened? Now Rugratz have decided to completely open up the firing range for business here, and Kel is probably going to be on the receiving end of it. These pistols are absolutely overrunning. What is going on? I can't predict these rounds. I can't cast them. I can't understand what the hell is going on. How in the world do Rugratz manage to win that one out with pistols, man? This is a 6-round game so far, and 5 of the wins have been ecos. 5-round wins have been ecos, dude. This is absolutely ridiculous. Exner, welcome to the chat, man. How are you not VIP? I'm gonna make you VIP. Apologies, 1 sec. What a silly mistake by me. Anyway, that was unbelievable. Rugratz, I feel like right off the bat, they should not have been able to get anything there, but the fact they do is just completely baffling. Depth, they seem to be on the receiving end of a lot of these pistol plays, however. Aren't able to do much on the wayside, however, as they will be quickly picked apart. Rugratz finally grounding us back down to reality. Something normal actually happening, thank God. I can't get over how some of these are actually working out. Just when the kill feed filled with blue, suddenly 3 pistol kills were in the kill feed. What can you do here? Connector control will be taken by Depth incredibly early on, but they're kissing in the smoke. What is this? Havoc! Oh, Lord, it's just a nightmare over in Connector. It ends up being a 2-for-1 trade that Depth come out on top of, but it's not exactly pretty. But really, no round in this game has been pretty safe for that. Round number 7 that we just saw. Dare has also the perfect timing to remove Hunter from the round with that AWP that they have bought up. And Rugratz, take a gander at their money. Even if they lose this, they're still in a pretty okay place. RZU, I would imagine push comes to shove, will be saving his gun. Just so he can maybe drop over something for Cobra, then get another AWP out. But what a strange round, again, this has been. I enjoy the double connector setup that Depth or that Rugratz went for, but I think they didn't exactly hear that the distance had already been closed at that point. Ended up kind of working actively against them, if anything. Havoc could have made those 2 cleaner kills if he had the opportunity. Mata, at least, will be able to try to shine some light on Depth, expose them for their nasty antics as they actually push out onto the site here. Good kill from him through the smoke, and as he looks for the bomb planter as well, unfortunately, Shane, he goes down. Only 15 points of health here, so he's kind of sitting on life support. But he's still going to be a very big factor in this round if he can continue just to stay alive for a bit longer. Utility has run almost completely dry for Depth, but it doesn't matter. They don't need any fancy source of util here when they can just straight up win these gunfights, and indeed, that will be the case. 4-4. The score is tied once more, and we're going to be seeing probably another buy come out from Rugratz. I really don't see a reason why they should completely neglect the idea of it. M4s can easily be dropped down. You'll see the AWP put back onto Hunter's hands, who was actually struggling with a couple of ping issues I saw in the last round. As he died, he had like 130 ping. He might have AirNet issues, but at least he's still able to cause some chaos, right? Doing the same with his early peek. No, he's holding his ground. It's a slower pace adopted now. Good stuff from Depth. They've realized some of their big issues have kind of been as a result of maybe trying to quicken the pace all too much here, and maybe they don't exactly have the most solid read on how Rugratz are going to be treating this one. If they haven't kept track of their eco, maybe they're expecting more pistols. But they're going to be pretty unfortunately reminded that, hey, AWPs are still in the picture. Completely dry peek out from Shane will lead quickly to his demise, and it's almost the same story for Snav. He's able to get away, but very, very scathed. Still, though, Rugratz will take this very, very handsome lead. And I think I see a double boost. Yeah, there you have it. I like it. They're looking into water as well. Rugratz shouldn't really kind of give up any opportunities here. They're playing this almost to a textbook degree. Well, you see Dare still messing around over towards the A-bomb site. He's just going to go ahead and try to sell a fake here. Hope that this gives a little bit more space for his team to push in. And the thing is, that might have done exactly the job that they wanted to. Kel is able to find that initial kill based off of that, or off the back of that flash, excuse me, that he got from his teammate Kel. Although Cobra is able to respond with one, this is still an okay situation for depth. Sure, they're down a player, but they can easily come back and maybe squeak out one more kill if they get a little bit lucky. Havoc now out onto the site here. Will try to get the bomb down, but he's absolutely ruined through the box. Rugratz will take the lead once more here, but what crazy rounds these have been. Quite honestly, some of the trades have been happening so blisteringly quick towards the end of these rounds. It's almost impossible to see everything at once. The CTs will eventually outlast depth, however, although that round goes down to the very bitter ends, at least when you look at the timer. The money will get better and better as time goes by for Rugratz as well. Depth, they'll force up every single gun that they possibly can to try to force a quick little B-rush here, quickening the pace on their own terms. And, of course, in classic NA fashion, in classic depth Rugratz fashion, guess who's going to be winning? It's 3-on-2 at the moment, and it really goes to show you, again, there's no rules to the game. Shane, do they actually rotate bomb to A here? Doesn't seem like they want to go for the move here, but I wonder if that actually might bite them in the back. Only a single flashbang on Dare's util belt at the moment here. Shane, I cannot believe he's looking for info here. This is so insanely risky, but now they know that an AWP is online. But I'm not sure if he knows that too, R. Take a gander at the money right now here. It's not going to look good. Rugratz probably want to hold on to this double sniper if they can still possibly help it. Although they will feed the beast just a little bit. No kits. So Rugratz, whether they like it or not, they're going to have to give up this one. And again, is someone keeping count? How many rounds has it been that a force-up actually ends up winning all? It's starting to get kind of predictable at this point here, man. I mean, come on, Depth. You need to change up the script. Been a neck-and-neck game so far. 5-5. It started late, but for good reason, apparently. Good things come to those who wait. As we enter round number 11, we'll see, again, more guns forced up. That just kind of feels like par for the course at this point. And thing is, with the double AWP, it's in Rugratz's best interest to actually go for something like this. Especially so when they found that first kill with one of those saved weapons. Hell, they might not have even needed to get up that FAMAS in the first place if those AWPs, excuse me, can continue doing work. Hunter will rotate back over towards bathrooms, and there is a lot of long presence being taken by Depth. This is the first time they've actually really been actively trying to push for this. It's a nice change of pace. Snav going down immediately is a huge hit for Depth. Obviously, just because of that player advantage, but also because Snav is one of the heavier hitters on Depth, and he has constantly been the first victim of a multitude of these rounds. Next one up in line will be Hunter, finding Dare now. And finally he's traded out, but there's still more snipers to worry about where that came from. Cobra will be forced to back up onto the site here. Still going to be jump peeking, still looking for some early kills if he possibly can before the actual execute begins. But that time is starting to really run thin. Depth, again, they just kind of mash their heads against the wall here. And probably won't be able to get any further than these couple of inches that they've been given. They made it right outside of the site, but eventually have to concede another round to Rugratz. 6-5. Kel, if he can get away with an AWP, that would be classified as a miracle in some states. But at the moment, this is nothing more And a very bitter loss. I'm wondering if we see the pace brought up again. Like, do depth actually just rush B no stop here, you think? Curious on what chat thinks about this here. If you were depth and you know how your track record has been regarding only pistols, what would you do? Probably not knife your teammate in the back. I think that would be a really good start. Poor Havoc. He even bought full armor as well, but now he's going to be within one-shot range for this M4s that Mada and RZU have. Again, there's a reason I'm not an MDL coach, and it's because I don't seem to have the right read on what depth wanted to try pulling off here. They're working a pick, but an off angle adopted by RZU is absolutely gorgeous. It's able to get at least one kill for their trouble. Bomb's still in. Over towards B for depth. What is the big long con that they have going here? Is it just to pick up that Galil? Because they've already pushed up towards the majority of bathrooms. It's looking incredibly awkward at the moment here. Rugratz, they're in a little bit of a rotate mania. Shane eventually will be meeting up with his comrades over at mid, so kind of the middle ground for both of these two. But an execute doesn't exactly seem likely at this point here, and hell, I'll be honest, it doesn't exactly seem that great at all. 2 flashes are all that they have. It doesn't actually end up wreaking out any sort of pick. Although Dare is able to force the issue, this should be an easy enough collapse. And oh god, don't tell me. No, don't tell me this happens again. Okay, there we are. That was a bit too close for comfort. The curse has been broken. Congratulations, everybody. You have made it through hell. And we have now wound up on the other side where finally teams can't win on pistols every time they buy them up. Depth will be forced into another save here after that kind of a half buy that they went for. But they'll still have more Tech 9s, just as they did in the last scene, but no full armor, no Galil, no Mac 10s. Just them against the world. And the world should absolutely obliterate them. Cobra getting a nice little banger of a shot. Will be flashing himself off. I appreciate the vision. Even gets a collateral towards the end. Look, it's eco kills. I'm not going to get excited about that, but it just kind of makes me feel happy to realize that, hey, finally, you know, this is like actually what you can expect out of these kind of rounds. Cobra getting a nice little double towards the end, but not the most exciting thing in the world when it's only against pistols. And Rugratz seem to have definitely regained a little bit more control. Taking this half at least 8 rounds, probably even more. Almost certainly 10 if they can get away with this round. Either way, it's definitely a really good sign for things to come here, especially since Rugratz have been so middling when it comes to most of their performances on Overpass. It's a nice change of pace. Depth seem to be sitting up at the moment for a B execute here, and I think they actually are going to try their luck with a boost if they can so possibly help it. This might be a bit too risky. Mata is watching exactly for this angle too. Ooh, but the timing isn't in his favor. Still Depth will hold on. Rotation being brought too. I'm not sure what info they have to actually drag him over. But it's a good call. Oh my lord. Still though, even though Mata was watching for that, even though Shane was not even looking there, he just sprays down Fang as well. Shane is always going to be my player to watch, but this is just unbelievable. What are some of these rounds? What are the info peaks that they're getting? And why is it seemingly working all the time? Depth. They're making mountains out of these molehills that Rugratz are providing them. And honestly, it just seems to be working every time. But Hunter's doing the same. He gets a 2K over towards short. And suddenly the round has been flipped on its head once more. That miracle that was caused by our boy Shane a little bit before. Now it all rests on him to somehow finish out the round. He finds it first and the second one as well. How the hell does Shane do it? It's unbelievable. He just always, this man is just a walking highlight reel. It's It's stupid. It's genuinely stupid. I never seen a player get away with so many disgusting plays like this. I feel like every time I watch Shane, he has something stupid going on. That last kill was unbelievable. I'm sorry. I lost myself for a second there. I think Shane is a pretty good player. Of course, Depth, they get away with highway robbery after such an insane round. But that's kind of been what the game has really provided us with so far. Hunter with an equally massive play, but not good enough to clutch out the round. 4v3, Rugratz will force up everything they got. It doesn't seem to be working out. It's looking an awful lot like 8-7. The only one that can maybe convince me otherwise would be, at the moment, based off of positioning, RZU. This should be a freebie onto Dare. No problem. But everything more and everything after this is going to be so insanely difficult. Fang, at least he trades 1-for-1 here, but Havoc is there to save the day. Shin with an uncharacteristic whiff on that Molotov, however, will be forced to use his smoke as well. RZU fully rotating all the way around Monster for good measure. But still, these positions are incredibly strong for Depth. I don't exactly think they give this one away. Fundamentals of it have definitely been one of their stronger suits in recent times, so it's going to be a difficult ask. Shane, can you chill, dude? Shane, stop. They have families. God damn. Yo, I tried. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I'm really trying to be the best caster I can be, and I absolutely love Counter-Strike, so those words mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. I can't get over that. What in the world, dude? That was just... I want to watch that Shane play again. Maybe it's just not as insane as I thought, but it's just the fact that he started the round with that first early kill off of the bad timing that Mata got, and then the follow-up wallbang onto Fang, and then he got the clutch, plus there was such a sick play from Rugratz as well. I think it was Hunter who got that 3K over towards short. Just, god damn, what a crazy round that was. I try to ask, do you know if Depth have a coach or not? I believe they do. Yeah, as you see in the scoreboard at the moment, Flush is currently coaching. He's a big brain behind this roster. Rugratz, I don't believe, have one. I think I've seen Rugratz actually bring a coach into the server in the past, but maybe they're just not available, or maybe I'm misremembering. It's one of the two situations. Small little halftime break, as I think we all need to collect ourselves. This match is absolutely delivering on every single front, and I could not be happier. I was really, really hoping for absurd plays. I don't know. I am so, so happy that this game is delivering in all the ways I was hoping. I guess now's another good time if you guys have any questions about any of these rosters. As I always like to mention, every single time that I cast a Depth game, Snav actually went to a local land of mine because he's local to my area, so I'm always a little bit of a fanboy for him too. Always want to see him succeed. Nice enough guy as well when I met him. 8-7 at half, and again, if you're just joining, I blew my vocal cords out in that first half because of some of the crazy plays we saw. But my name is Ito, and I hope you're enjoying this game so far, because I know I sure as hell am. It's 8-7. Rugratz barely scraping forward. Look to go ahead and try to take this pistol and extend their lead, and obviously Depth are looking to try maybe even up the scoreline here. Depth have been kind of on a roll with their solo efforts, so I could definitely see it happening. But at the moment, Rugratz, they definitely have a really solid read on what Depth are trying to pull off here. A triple push out towards connector. This is a really good punishment for if they're doing a slower default or something, but Otherwise, this is not going to really amount to much of anything. A full rotate all the way around RZU won't be present for the occasion, and Rugratz have now just stumbled upon a golden opportunity. They can't believe what they just come across. They're checking every single angle. Feng is like, wait, really? For free? And yeah, no, they indeed got it for free. You'll see Depth now quick, trying to push their way as well. Havoc, he holds the kit here and probably holds the greatest chance for Depth to actually win this round. Some initial skirmishes out over towards Long A. And Cobra holding the half angle. The headshot angle. I don't know, I said half angle. Motto will be first to actually take fights, however. Still, want to keep an eye on Cobra. He holds, again, all the pieces to the puzzle at the moment. Cobra, he gets two as he actually pushes in, but somehow, God, why does this keep happening? Depth, another stupid effort. It's just, God, this team is so insane to watch. Havoc was on the bomb the entire time, and he gets to defuse it. Everybody dies on Depth. And, okay, look, they win that round, but this is not a good situation for Depth to be in. Take a gander at the money between these two. Rugratz, they got the majority of the kills, plus they just barely managed to lose that round. They were going to have AKs, while Depth are still struggling to really kind of pay the bills. Rugratz, if they get this first kill, should be able to absolutely stampede on either which site that they hope for. At the moment, though, they're just kind of holding for any early picks if they can so possibly get away with it. It's going to have to be Robbery. Hunter, oh, the wrong place at the wrong time, ends up with him on the receiving end of a couple of bullets. He's going to be eating lead for breakfast. Now Rugratz will need to retrieve the bomb, but their chances of winning this round have just basically shot down to 0%. But we've seen a lot of crazy efforts. Maybe it can happen again. Feng will get us off to a very nice start with that initial kill, but the trade, as per usual, is really strong from the CTs. Motto will do the same, and this time he actually manages to get away pretty much unscathed. The bomb down, the smoke still in RZU's hands. It doesn't look promising, especially as the collapse has already begun, but Rugratz, I gotta say, after that being a 5v3, I don't think that's a worse result in the world. This means that they're going to be able to buy up a couple of more upgraded pistols heading into this next one. It actually might be kind of a key to, their eventual victory, push comes to shove. I'm also wondering if Rugratz try to put Hunter on the AWP again. So they're actually choosing to buy into it? It's... Okay, never mind. This is a half buy. I was wondering if RZU would have enough money. AK half armor. Probably just going to be passing this around. Be surprised. Early, nice little water collapse in from Depth, but they're giving up a lot of bloodshed early on. RZU, with that AK that he hero bought, will be able to trade things out, but I'm not scared yet. Gotta be scared for what comes after for Depth. Yo, what's up, TM Craze? How you doing, man? It's been a hot minute. Sorry, I was losing myself for a second, checking out my Twitch users. But Depth, they'll once again work for water control here, and I don't feel like I've actually been praising their mid-round calls here enough. They're actually handling this one, for the most part, incredibly well. Although Feng is able to squeak out one more kill, the fact that they actually just decided to push for that kill right there is huge over towards water. Havoc, he does his best to kind of hold the line as best he possibly can, but Christ, that round was all RZU. I've been a bit too fanatical about Depth as of recent to really praise some of the hot members of Rugratz, but RZU was undeniably the MVP of that round. A 4K, and unfortunately Auto Director didn't want to catch it, but I can be well assured that Depth definitely felt the receiving end of every single one of those kills. This game is, again, delivering in every single way that I was hoping. Majority B stack in from Depth. Rugratz have such a solid read. You see Mata? He was even checking for that triple boost angle. That is like so damn rare to see nowadays. It's kind of insane that Mata had such a keen awareness to check for it. And my god, he's going to be able to find his 4th kill of the game. He hasn't been able to frag out all too much, but that was such an important kill to find as well, especially considering it was one of the M4 wielders for the CTs. As a result of that frag that he initially found, the rest of his teammates are going to be able to go hog wild and absolutely ruin the careers of depth. A flawless one from Rugratz to get onto double digits first. And this is a pretty equal opportunity for Rugratz to do the same. Another flawless round, possibly. Still kind of early days, however. I don't think it's the end of the world, but the fact that they won that kind of first full round, maybe it's arguable to call it a full round considering Depth have 3 deagles, but the way they were playing, I mean, that's sort of aggression that I think we can expect to see a little bit more of, even on gun rounds like that from Depth. Massacre over towards A-Long will take place, however, and 2 will be the victims immediately from the CT side. Great flashes in will lead to Cobra being able to have a couple of more opportunities to take some fights over towards Tree, but it's a bit of a struggle. And, oh no, don't. Depth, please, come on. I'm just praising Rugratz. Why does every eco seem to go the way of the team that shouldn't be winning it? Mata, he gets overwhelmed. I'm done, man. I'm gonna need a beer after this. I'm gonna need some Mountain Dew Game Fuel after this. Again, if there's anybody keeping tabs on this, can please someone let me know how many rounds have gone the way of an ecoing team? This is starting to get absurd at this point here. I think we're nearing double digits. On full pistols, Depth is able to perfectly read what the Rugratz want to go for here. And will absolutely ruin the hopes and dreams of Rugratz maybe extending to an 11th. As the score is once again tied up, I am tongue-tied. I'm genuinely lost to try to understand what is going on in this game. Snav, he's going to again try to ground us to reality here. He spots a player almost immediately on this peak over towards Long. He's going to be trying to call for a little bit of backup, however. This isn't a fight that he can take alone, and when he tries to, Dare will be the eventual victim of it. Now, they've already committed 2 players here, but thing is, Rugratz, they don't have to extend anymore. They can go ahead and just try to wait for some of this util to get blown out from the CT side, and then actually re-exec into the site all by their lonesomes. Depth, they're actually kind of struggling to rotate that last player over as well. They realize that the fake opportunity is there. But eventually, they will decide to actually push and test their luck over at the A-bomb site. Kel is stuck out in no man's land. Being forced out by that Molotov is the worst possible situation that he could have found himself in. A re-smoke in over towards CT, and the Rugratz are looking absolutely brilliant at the moment. Poised to take round number 11. They are dealing with these rifles basically in every single way that you would hope. Wonderful flashover. Will she... excuse me. He'll find at least 1 kill. That was a bit of an uncharacteristic whiff from Shane, though. It had me, again, a bit tongue-tied. But hey, we're probably going to be seeing 11-11, judging by the past patterns that we have seen. A very wonderful round, however, by Rugratz. Basically, the only fumble that I felt like they had was not playing anti-flash positions in that post plant. But even then, like, I mean, that's kind of a hindsight being 2020 sort of deal. All in all, it is a brilliant effort. Kel with a brilliant shot. Oh my god, it's beginning. I suppose this isn't a full-on eco. This is just a B stack, keeping their AWP all the way over towards B. However, Snav, with that pistol that I mentioned, will be able to remove RZU. So off to another banging start. Ball will still need to be picked up by one of those remaining Ts. There's so much time to tick down, however. This candle isn't even begun to burn. Mata, and at least he will get that opening kill onto the player over towards B, but they don't have the bomb. Rugratz, they cannot commit at the moment here, and thing is, that's like the perfect opportunity for Depth to try to push for a little bit more. They're getting so much information. Rugratz, no one's picked up the bomb yet. Finally, Hunter is going back for it, but this is a 4v2, and a very, very strong 4v2 for Depth at that. I I think Hunter realizes just kind of the absolute state of his team right now. Depth probably bring a couple of players back to fight. Cobra even getting spotted as he moves over towards water. Hunter, he's made noise as well. Why is there no one from depth even close to being available to actually fight for the cause here? Kel will eventually scope up, but the bomb has already been taken down. Why is this actually winnable now? Oh, I'm just absolutely baffled. Depth will try to quickly close the distance. Darren getting that first kill here, but Cobra can still clutch this one out here. We've seen crazier things this game, but this won't be one of those situations. Again, we're going back down to reality. 11 all. And hey, remember what I was saying. Now I'm the magician here.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Off the back of Kel's AWP, I felt that was just such a brilliantly played round by Depth. I think I'm borrowing that phrase, borrowing that word a bit too much. It was well played. It was solid. They relied on Kel for that AWP work. The fact that he got that first kill over towards mid was probably the most important kill. It's just like such a strong opening like that is so insurmountable to try to fight up against. But Rugratz, they are equally as lethal. See another full rifle round in play here. An AWP on Snav, but that is the only sniper. A lot of these players are checking for not so common boosts. Kind of crazy to see. You see how Dara's actually checking for the triple boost over towards T-spawn. I love it. Oh, Team Crazy, I just saw what you said about me and the boys having a new logo. Yeah, we just got one commissioned recently. It's really, really nice. I actually don't know the artist, though, so I'd say hit up UpMind if you want to know who it is. But they are absolutely insanely good at what they do. Very, very slow round. I'm loving this from Rugratz. Burning the clock down, and you see they're getting pretty good rewards out of it. Take a gander at the util from the CT side. Sure, Rugratz, they aren't doing much better. But my god. This could actually either go either way, excuse me. Still, the CTs basically hold all the keys to the B-bomb site at the moment. And I'm pretty sure, as you would imagine, they don't want to give these up. Dare will find the opening kill of the round, and as there's only like 15 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be a complete massacre over at the B-bomb site. It might be blue in the kill feed, but I can guarantee you there is red all over the ground. A dominant CT hold on the B-bomb site will lead to a very convincing number 12. And for the first time in a while, Depth will take the lead. However, again, we have to go ahead and judge by past history. Rugratz, I wouldn't be surprised if they can somehow squeak something out of this one. They're already trying to go ahead and fire things up here. Run over towards that A-bomb site and Snav. He's realized that, hey, this is probably a situation he doesn't want to be in. He's going to try to hold the line over towards bathrooms, but quickly give up even control on that. Now Kel will come in to go ahead and try to be the knight in shining armor here, but Snap has come right back online. Havoc, Kel, all finding kills. The pistols are doing absolutely nothing against Depth. There's 2 kills found by Mata and Fang, but that is all that they're going to be able to get. The frags overwhelmingly go in the favor of the CT side. They're building up a little bit more economy, and they're getting towards the end of the line finally. I said that this game was probably going to go the way of Depth, just judging by their history and judging how they have played some of their prior matches against some of the other teams in MDL, but at the moment, I don't even feel like Rugratz are playing necessarily badly. Now that eco, yeah, that's not like prime Rugratz, but that was the first time in a long time that Depth actually managed to have a very convincing hold against pistols. Tactical pause being called, and should be quickly ending too. Utility isn't wonderful on Rugratz, but it should be good enough for them to actually set up for a full execute here. They're really kind of lacking in the Molotov department. I'm wondering if Hunter is going to pick one up. Yep, there it is. In their best interest too as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they called the tac timeout just for that. That Molotov is just going to be absolutely vital. I'd argue probably the Molotov is most important on Overpass, even more so than like Inferno. Oh, RZU. This is such a cheeky angle. It's been a while since I've seen this one. Doesn't work out in the long term, however. He wide swings right into two members, waiting members of depth, as they go for some pretty unorthodox aggression over towards Connected. As with a lot of things this game, it will go swimmingly for them. Havoc has also managed to avoid a fight taken towards barrels. Although Cobra is able to entry in onto the B bomb site, there's still a lot more where that came from. Snav getting the dunk grenade onto Cobra. And we find ourselves on relatively even footing heading into this post plant. Util still remains very, very strong for depth. Something that I always like to mention as a factor, because you see that the CTs are already trying to make it fly out of their pockets and onto the site. Rugratz, they need to hold on for dear life if they possibly can. Time is not really going to be in their favor, and that's the problem. Wait, Snav, did Snav get a collateral there? I didn't exactly pay attention, but I don't think Snav got a collateral there, right? Oh my god, if he did, then this game is officially just out of control. I'm so happy, though, that I chose to cover this game. I was actually kind of half and half on actually doing it, but my god, it is definitely impressing me so far. Another tack pause. Sure, that shouldn't exactly be surprising. Alright, there we are. As for big changes that I want to try to keep in mind for the Rugratz sort of thing, again, I don't necessarily feel like they're doing badly. Their B-take there, for the most part, was really solid. I think maybe a little bit more you know, what I really enjoyed about depth when they're on their T side and on their B takes in particular was the fact that a lot of the time they would push past the site and try to work for a little bit more aggressive CT control. That's not exactly easy to do all the time for obvious reasons, but I think actually using maybe fewer smokes or just changing up where you're actually placing the smokes might do them a little bit of good. Hindsight is 20/20, however. Hunter gets 4x3'd. Okay, and Snav gets another collateral. Oh, what is going on anymore? These kills are happening so quickly that it feels like I'm just reading off the kill feed. I'm not a robot. I'm not a teleprompter. I'm a caster who's just genuinely baffled at how Snav is getting away with crazy stuff like this. Look, Arizona pride, man. I'm glad there's someone from my state who's just absolutely tearing things up at the moment. But you just can't keep doing it to the Rugratz like this. 2 collaterals in 2 rounds from Snav. And he will get my honorary MVP award for these past couple of rounds. But it's not done yet. Depth, it's looking awfully likely that they go up to 15. Mata basically has no really big keys for success to actually finish up this round here. Basically the only thing he has going in his favor is the timer. 43 seconds is a lot of time to play around with, but he doesn't have anything on his belt to exactly take advantage of, and his KD hasn't exactly been promising, but that's besides the point. KD isn't everything. Mata might have the god timing on Sheen here, however. Doesn't spot the gun barrel, does he? Surely Mata, his teammate's got to be calling that one out. An off angle adopted. Shane will just back up there. He can allow Snav to maybe take this fight if he so wants, but he'll let Shane probably do some of the dirty work for now. Time is ticking down to the last possible moment. Mata, oh god, he's just trying to force this fight here. Shane, he's running for dear life, but it's good enough. Havoc doesn't have to do anything other than just be present for the occasion. For a game that was so insanely, absurdly competitive in the first half, it seems to be overwhelmingly in favor of depth in the second. And there's not really too much that the Rugratz can do. It seems that at the moment they're bashing their head against the wall, just trying to get past the starting line even. But when they take early round control, they look like a completely different beast. It's hard to exactly diagnose what I think all the problems are for Rugratz. Again, there's a reason I'm not playing in the server at the moment here. I'm just talking about the game, but I definitely think there's a lot going for this team. They are strong, and they have some wonderful players. Cobra in particular, he's a monster. But at the moment, Depth just really are showing up with their coordination in these past couple of games and all, really. Those trades have been on point. Dare has been, I think, quietly the MVP for this game. 21 kills. Maybe he's not quiet. Maybe he's the most loud player in the server. Regardless, this might be the final action for Rugratz in this entire game here. 3v5, 2v5, 1v5. Let's play counting with Ito. How quickly can we count to 0? Rugratz are going to try to maybe help me out for that answer. It's a 1-on-4 for Mata to try and maybe fight against this beast, this monolith that is Depth. He'll get 1 kill deep in. He's found 2 in the round, but now his position has been primed in and zoned in on. And surely Depth, they go ahead and work on those fundamentals and don't give up a single inch more. The double peek out Mata. A disgusting flick actually makes this possible now. 13 seconds remain on the clock here. Snav is going to respect it. He's going to allow that bomb plant to come through, and this is a workable situation. However, despite his best efforts, his heroic, his Herculean efforts, I can use all the fancy phrases I want because at the end of the day, that is GG. 16-11 in favor of Depth as they run away with the game in that second half. But my God, did that deliver and provide even more than I was hoping towards the end. So many crazy plays. When it comes to choosing my MVP of the match, I do have to give it over to Dare. He has been incredibly solid for pretty much this entire season for the ex-Timberman roster, now the Depth roster for this entire season. But in that game in particular, there's so many times where he was constantly playing on the refrag, and he was doing such a great job at it. Again, such a strong grasp on the fundamentals, and it is, I think, like one of the key reasons why this team has been doing so well in this current MDL season. As for a secondary MVP, Shane. That is just, he's just such a nutty player. I don't think I've ever yelled that much at a play, but the fact that he was just able to get away with some of the nasty business he was doing, it's enough to make anybody excited. Truly some sick plays. I'm going to be looking over the clips, but I need to toss it to a couple of ads. But this is not going to be it. We have one more game on the docket tonight. It is going to be Kinship versus Rebirth, and that should be taking place in about 25 minutes, probably a little bit longer because, you know, players need to actually get into the server. But don't go anywhere because we should be back with a little bit more CSGO action in just a few minutes.